As a model since the age of 13, I have been made to put fake maternity bumps on to be a non-pregnant model, as happens on most e-commerce websites. Images are digitally and physically altered. Yes, Photoshop definitely happens, but also, more importantly, images are physically manipulated, like having the maternity bump or a clip back on your clothes or holding the dress whilst you're standing wearing it. It's just really, really, really impossible to know what you're seeing online. There are no standard sample sizes or categories at all. There is no definition of what is a plus-size model except in the modelling industry, where you have to be over a size 12, even though the average dress size is a size 16. Children modelling to adults. I was 13 years old in this photo, and I was in Vogue, and I modelled in fashion magazines all the way through my teenage years. Models have got a lot of weight pressure on them, like me, down here, again, and we don't actually look this way in reality because we're literally being pressured to look. But most models can't quit because they're literally tied into it in their contract and they get into debt by their agency. Social media magnifies these problems to be all of our problem because they are unlimited in space and time. Before we might have seen an image of Kate Moss on a billboard, but now we get targeted by images all day, every day that are specialized to our unique insecurities. We think this should be achievable, like the Kendall Jenner image down there. She doesn't look like that in real life. She just looks like different. We all look different every second of every day. When we've had our hair and makeup done professionally and we're standing in professional lighting, we know how to pose because we've done it since childhood. Yes, we will look different to how we do when we just wake up in the morning. But you don't know that. When you see this image, you think that's what she really looks like because it's not on a billboard, and you think that should be what you could look like if you just tried hard enough. This is the addictive side effects. Now you get all of these different things. These are the addictive features on social media, like endless scrolling or filters, all of these things that keep you coming back and tapped in for more because they need to keep you hooked on the app to make money from you. And there's a focus on engagement, again, because this is a really good example. Spain recently brought out this beach body image campaign, but they didn't realize that actually there were pictures of real women in this. Not only taken their real images, they've stuck them onto actually photoshopped bodies, and they've not paid them any money, first of all. Also, we've got no idea that this is fake. And this is the other end of the spectrum, where we've got all of the body positivity stuff at the moment, but it's not even real. They've photoshopped it. How crazy is that? And when I was modeling a few years ago, I would get paid for usage, which is how, for example, if an e-commerce website is going to have my photo online, they would pay me for 6 months to have that photo up. Now it is up forever and ever and ever because it's impossible to get this stuff off the internet. These models don't even exist. They're fake. They're created by artificial intelligence and or probably getting photos of other models and real people and sticking them together and making these fake people. How can you compare with not a real person? These kids don't know that. They think that they're real. They are the ones that are trying to become skinnier by doing what you eat in a day challenges, and social media knows it. It literally targets them by creating their own platforms for them. TikTok Creator Fund is trying to give people money to be an influencer if they get enough number of followers. This is how kids are being indoctrinated into this world from the second they get a phone. So in 2012, Instagram became popular on a mass scale, and since then, the suicide rate for females under 25 has gone up by 93.8%. Anorexia, self-harm, all of these issues, they've just skyrocketed since then. People hate their bodies because, if you're looking at yourself on a computer and your image, even on Zoom, is being enhanced, then how on earth are you going to go out and see real people again? Again, with the obesity bits, the obesity in the UK is been higher than it's ever been. So obviously it's not the message that's the issue. If we go on social media, we're bombarded with images of skinny people and how we should look, but it's the medium. When I was being forced to lose weight, I would go home and eat a whole box of brownies because I was so upset. And that's what it does. The junk food companies are swooping in and taking advantage of the way that you feel about yourself. Here's what the government need to do to fix these issues. They need to bring in a law. The Body Image Bill by Dr. Luke Evans MP is a great start. to make sure that mainstream media containing misleading content is declaring this. So not only photoshopping people's body dimensions, but also whenever they use fake models, whenever they're using filters, whenever they're clipping back clothes, this stuff needs to be covered in law, because it comes up on what we see, so TV, Love Island, all of these things, but then that's where we are taking it and creating it for ourselves on social media. They need to regulate the business models of social media and the addictive features, because as long as Instagram or TikTok's main business revenue is coming from targeted advertisements, they're going to need to keep you on that platform as long as possible. Compare it to Spotify, where we pay a subscription, but it's not intensely addictive. We're not on it for hours and hours and hours. And for this, the Department for Health and Social Care have to be involved in the online safety bill. They have to be, but they're not involved. That is why the online harms bill, whatever it's called, the online safety bill doesn't work. That is why it's probably called an online safety bill instead of an online harms bill. So they also need to regulate the modeling in the modeling industry. I'm working with the Department for Culture, Media and Sport right now on this, but they're not regulating it. You know what needs to happen to regulate it is get the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy involved, because they're the ones that can say to open a modeling agency, you need to have a license. Right now, anybody can open a model agency in their bedroom and just target very vulnerable people that want to be famous. There needs to be public education on social media literacy, particularly in schools. That's why I wrote this book, The Reality Manifesto, because I was giving it to parents and kids for free, and it was really ineffective to do it one by one. 5, improve access to healthcare and support for body image-related conditions, which this report today found most people get stigmatized or have a terrible experience in general. They need to change the government's approach to obesity, so stop telling people to lose weight and start helping them actually make healthier decisions. For example, these things are all related. When I go out for a run in the park, I get shouted at, so I don't go out for a run in the park. 7, regulate cosmetic surgery. This is really, really, really important, because the things that we see on social media in trying to look like Kim Kardashian, who we will literally never look like, no matter how much we eat or whatever we do, we will turn to cosmetic surgery because we're like, okay, well, that's the way. And it's become really, really normalized. And it's not that surgery is a bad thing in and of itself, but when it's not regulated at all and people are just giving it to you off the cuff, that's when it's incredibly dangerous. And it's really, really hard to take that back, because once you do it once, it becomes normal and it wears off and you go back again and again and again. And finally, there needs to be a health priority made of social media harms. And that needs to have the Department for Health and Social Care involved in it, leading on it and taking action on this. Because social media is literally targeting your human vulnerabilities and exploiting them.